This episode won't be the most comprehensive, though after a loaded weekend there's still plenty to talk about. Let's not waste any time and get right into it. As always, just a reminder that I haven't seen every single match to have taken place, and the ones I do choose to talk about are all based on my own personal enjoyment and nothing else. A slight spoiler warning as well, as I will be talking about match finishes here too. After watching 78 matches spanning 14 promotions, here are a few of my favorites from the last week of March. Friday's Arena Mexico show had a special buzz around it with the inclusion of AEW talent, primarily the inclusion of the Blackpool Combat Club in the main event. While that may have been the draw for a lot of first-time viewers, the entire show was an absolute blast. I think the whole card is worth going out of your way for. The intrigue surrounding the main event is obviously all of the different interactions, though there's a sensory overload after the entrances. The feed only includes the audio from the ring announcer before switching over to commentary, and when they do, you're enveloped by the roar of the crowd and the flashing lights syncopated to Bryan Danielson's yes chants. Now, the action is quite good, though the atmosphere helps take it to a special place. The crowd is molten hot for everything and everyone in this match, and it's unlike anything I've covered in the series thus far. It needs to be heard to be believed. I appreciate how we get into the thick of things, as after giving Danielson and Blue Panther their moment, each competitor is introduced into the fray one by one. From there it breaks down on the outside in traditional Blackpool Combat Club fare before an extended heat segment begins. The Arena Mexico fans come unglued at any indication of a comeback, and when the luchadors are able to pull it off, the match explodes into a frenzy. This sold me on the further possibilities of this feud. The chemistry in all these individual pairings shined, and as we'd see in the post-match, they're still expanding on that. If you haven't seen this yet, it is important to know that the match was contested under Captain's Fall rules. This means that only pinning or submitting the assigned captain will end the match, though other competitors can be eliminated. I was ignorant to this when I tuned in live, and I was a bit caught off guard by the finish where Místico submitted Matt Sydal. Is it a perfect match? No, but that's not why you should be seeking this out. It's best enjoyed by sitting back and taking the ride. I try my best to avoid terms like vibes match, but it is an apt descriptor for this sort of thing. It's a whole lot of fun, and that's all it's supposed to be. Oh, and this also turned out to be a preview tag for the small matter of a Bryan Danielson Blue Panther singles match taking place the following week. The conclusion of All Japan's Dream Power series was headlined by the latest defense of Katsuhiko Nakajima's Triple Crown against the super rookie of the promotion, Yuma Anzai. It's one I've been looking forward to for a while, and it's a match that leans heavily on both men's strengths. The opening minutes of this match telegraph how the rest of things will develop. Anzai is out-wrestled by Nakajima and hangs in long enough to find an opening to hit a jumping knee. If he can execute, it can greatly shift the momentum of the match. Anzai is successful in this first attempt and is in the driver's seat for a brief spell. Nakajima takes exception to this naturally, and the match takes a turn that one might have expected from these two. I've stated in previous videos that Yuma Anzai is very good at getting his ass kicked, and Nakajima has a reputation for such. Anzai is punished for his troubles as Nakajima batters him, mixing in targeted strikes and throws. With Anzai in this spot, he struggles to have any sort of response, stumbling around the ring and swinging recklessly just to stop the onslaught. Nakajima further takes advantage of his inexperience and the beatdown continues. Anzai scratches and claws his way through all of it, in a performance that plays up the trope of staying in the fight just long enough to get your one shot. An escape from a vertical spike attempt gives him the opening for another jumping knee, and a bridging German suplex wins Anzai the match and his first championship. Not his first world title either, like legitimately his first championship in his entire career. There's been some debate as to whether or not this was the right way to go about the title switch, and while I would have liked a more substantial comeback, it fits Anzai's performance in the match. Nakajima's entire Triple Crown reign was about going out of his way to prove a point, and here he reached a little too far, ultimately costing him. His future is uncertain at the moment, and maybe All Japan's hand was forced to get the belt off of him. It's a shame to see it end, as there's still some things left to do, specifically one last Miyahara match. In the end, it was a very strong reign all things considered. There wasn't a single defense I didn't enjoy, and that's saying a lot for my varying opinions on Nakajima and his opponents throughout the run. I won't argue the decision, as Anzai clearly has a lot of upside, and when fans in the front row are crying over a title victory, you're doing something right. All Japan figured it was best just to go for it and start fresh with a new chapter. The timing of all this falling into place is interesting, with Champions Carnival around the corner, and it makes a compelling road to determine Anzai's first defense. The story of Anzai having to legitimize his title reign will be an important one heading into the spring. With this video, my streak of covering Kung Fu Masters matches comes to an end. As of last Saturday, the tag team is no more. I should have seen it coming. A live broadcasted show in Kobe, main evented by Kung Fu Masters vs Z-Brats. What could have possibly gone wrong? Things go as anyone following the Z-Brats vibes feud would expect. Kung Fu Masters waste little time getting to Z-Brats early, and things spill to the outside as any Z-Brats match would. It's back in the ring where things start to feel just a bit off. From closely following this tournament, it's clear that Kung Fu Masters tag matches follow certain steps, such as Jackie often being subject to control segments before reaching the big hot tag to Jason. Here, Kenoh is being worked over for an extended period, and there's a notable absence from Jason Lee. Jason eventually gets the tag, and you get everything you want out of this match. The action is frantic, and the drama is amplified by this rivalry boiled over. When Z-Brats are back in control, things take another strange change of course. At this point, Z-Brats tie Jason to the top rope and resume picking apart Kenoh. It would appear that he's forced to watch his tag partner suffer, though the devil is in the details. Even with the referee's assistance, it takes quite a while to free him, resulting in a great near fall admittedly. Immediately following that pin attempt, Ishin grabs Jason in the corner, restraining him but not attacking him. The end is in sight, though Kenoh does everything in his power to survive, perhaps doing too well of a job to foil Shun's plan. It's here that Jason Lee takes matters into his own hands, super kicking Jackie Funky Kenoh, betraying his tag team and his unit in the process. A spinning brainbuster adds insult to injury, making it clear that he is also the newest member of Z-Brats. A great angle to cap off another very strong match in this tournament. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention, but even with the interpersonal tension growing throughout the tournament matches, I was completely shocked to see this unfold the way it did. Jason Lee betraying one of the best babyfaces going made it all the more powerful, and I can't wait until the Kung Fu Masters oppose each other in the ring. Noah renewed one of its generational rivalries last Sunday as Kenoh and Kaito Kiyomiya faced off in a rematch of their Victory Challenge Tag League bout. That match was my favorite of the whole tournament, and my hopes were high that they'd reach those heights again. In my opinion, they surpassed them. The tournament match was all about establishing Yu Owada as he outlasted the remaining time to earn a point in the opening night. Now much further along, he adds to the match, though the story here falls on Kaito re-engaging with his career rival. There is no love lost, and Kaito's fire and intensity here is befitting of a hot Korakuen Hall. Kenoh initially tries to big league Kaito with all his dismissive behaviors, though Kaito picks his spots after one too many taunts, rushing him on the apron when Kenoh tags out. This breaks down to a brawl between the two for the remainder of the match. Meanwhile, Ryohei Oiwa has his own motivations here. He failed to put away a rookie in the opening night of the tournament and looks to make good on that result. There's also a natural rivalry between a New Japan young lion facing off with a Noah rookie. Oiwa's game plan is to target Owada's back, and succeeds through a strength advantage. The rookie Owada is very endearing in this spot, and garners some of the loudest reactions from the crowd, even over the likes of Kaito and Kenoh. This helps him fight through a similar position from Tag League, finding himself in Oiwa's Boston Crab late into the match. The upswell from the crowd and Oiwa's determination resulted in some great tension. He's able to get to the ropes, but with Kenoh occupied with Kiyomiya in the corner, Oiwa is able to put him away with a gut-wrench sit-out powerbomb. This was a very strong tag tucked away in a sneakily good Noah undercard. The heat in the individual feuds was palpable, and the red-hot crowd made for a great atmosphere. Kaito and Kenoh are scheduled to face each other one-on-one later in April. And before I go, here are some honorable mentions. Athena vs Nikita from Ring of Honor, March 28th. Another in a long line of Athena squash matches that just does it for me. Miyu Watanabe vs Miyu Yamashita from Tokyo Joshi Pro, March 31st. I didn't get to see as much of Grand Princess as I would have liked, but I enjoyed my initial watch of the main event quite a bit. I think I preferred Watanabe in the underdog role from 2022, though the point of this match was to show that she is now the standard of the promotion. And last but not least, the eel eating contest from New Japan, March 31st. Not the other two falls, but specifically the eating contest, and at 1.25 speed. And that is it from me. If you got this far into the video, thank you so much for your time and for hearing what I have to say. Be sure to do all of the obligatory YouTube stuff by liking and subscribing, and find me on socials at OuterStevan. Let me know if I missed anything worth checking out, and I will talk to you again next time with a WrestleMania week special.